So that's the comeback. So what's up, everybody?
What's up, man? What's going on, guys?
We got a new face here. New face for the viewers, not a new face for myself, especially, but neither for Nick either. Mr. Fakhri Mubarak. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. I'm hanging in there, man.
I'm not allowed to call you IFBB Pro. Fakhri, did you get your pro? Did you get your card?
Yeah, well, you know what, man?
No, we're retired. I don't think that fucking applies to us.
Yeah, it's a business, man, and I
agree. I agree,
man. But can anybody really take our pro card status away from us? We earned it, you know.
No, I think it's a way to just like weed out the bullshit.
Yeah, that also, man. But it's also a business too, man. You know, people have to understand that.
So, we have, because of Nick, a pretty big younger viewing crowd. So me and you were kind of in the same boat. We came up and you know, did things around the same time. So tell, you turned pro. Have you competed in a pro show?
Yeah, so I turned so I started training at 15, but I didn't compete until 26 and a half. At 26 and a half, at 26 actually, no, I'm lying. At 26 and a half is when I first started taking like bodybuilding supplements. And then that was June 8th to June 9th, 2000. I remember the exact date. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I went to the gym and I dropped like $2,500 on everything I could. And then, yeah, man, I bought everything, man. And then the Eastern USA's was in November of 2000. I won that. Won the United States in 2002. Did nationals 2003. Finished fourth. And they got my pro card with Phil Heath in 2005. And at that time, I remember, guys, 2 pro cards given to all of bodybuilding. Right after the USA's that October, I did the Charlotte Pro. I finished 8th. I think it was like 24 guys in the class.
And open, right?
Open, yeah. There was no 202, no 212 at that time. And then in 2009, I did the New York Pro 202 division, which was reckless for me to come down to 202.
Yeah, you were so like flat, deathly flat. It was like insane.
It was insane, man. My waist was huge because my waistline wasn't that of a 202 anymore.
I remember a show, before I get into my stories with you. There was a show that you guest posed at, like impromptu, that like you weren't supposed to, and you just like had a pair of trunks. What, you looked insane there. And did you even have tan on?
No, man. So that
do you know what is that anywhere online?
Yeah, I think it is, man. If you look up Fakhri Mubarak, I think it was the NPC Brooklyn show. It was Matt's show at the time. And I was in the audience and he asked me to guest pose. I'm like, you know, I don't have poser trunks. He's like, I'll get you some. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not wearing nobody's poser trunks, you know. But he got me a pair of poser trunks with fucking tags on and everything, and I went on there and I posed.
That's awesome.
Did I spell your name right? Is this it?
2010, yeah. I think no, but that was the second one. I think I was like 270 there.
Is this the one you want me to
270?
I was like 270 in that one, yeah, in 2010. I think it was
2000. How tall are you?
Fine.
Guy or Fac?
Fac.
What was that, Nick?
I said, how tall are you?
5'5".
Wow.
5'5". 270. That was 287.
Fuck yeah.
I was chubby then. I was like 270 in that one.
Yeah, but you're still fucking huge. Dude, you're fucking huge here.
Yeah, I was chubby in that one. The one like a year or two before that, I was in pretty good shape at 230.
What year was it? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. I came out to Lil Wayne Lollipop at that show. Yeah, Lollipop. What a video.
Fakhri chant no. No. Comeback no.
Fac, what was the highest weight your weight ever gotten?
So the highest weight I was, Nick, was in December 2017. I was actually planning to do a New York Pro in 2018. I was 287 pounds.
At 5'5", that's a big boy.
5'5", yeah.
Dude, look at this. I can't find the video, but let's look at this. This one, what, dude? I mean, and that's with a shitty old like picture, and you can see the graininess that he has all over the
Yeah,
place.
that was 202 at the New York Pro, man. 2009.
Yeah.
That was horrible there.
No, you were flat as it, but you can see how you don't have an ounce of fat on you, bro.
No,
You're just flat as a fucking pancake.
Yeah, that was a bad decision.
Why did you stop?
How much cardio did you do for that show?
So that show was really tough, man. I'm not gonna lie. So that show was I started the prep at that show like 250, and then I was asked to do the 202 show because it was a brand new division, and I didn't want to do it, but again I was asked, so I came down. I was probably doing about 2 hours of cardio trying to come down, and to be real honest with you guys, I was barely using any PDs because I had to come down so much that if I touched, it would have ended up around like 210, 212. So I went to train with Oscar because I knew Oscar was going to be the only one that was going to break me down, you know. So I trained with him every single day with Evan. Evan would train first, and then I would train right after Evan left. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't a great experience, man. It wasn't a great experience as my last show. And I've said this before. I regret everything I've done in life. I'm happy about, but the one thing I regret, and I've told guys this, is never being able to be the best I could be and get it on the Olympics. You know.
Yeah, but you've also helped a lot of us because you a lot of people don't know. Well, if they don't know, if they know me, they do. But you coached me early on in my career. I turned pro in 2008, and then I turned pro with Dave Palumbo, and then I had a very, very short stint with Neil Hill, and then I went to you. And I won my first show with you. We did we did the Dexter Jackson Classic, got second, and then the week later, Vaughn Etienne won, and then we did Dallas the week later, and I won. That was the last 202 show ever. Then it went to 212 after that year. So you helped a lot of us back then. I mean, we had some crazy, like the phone call I had with you the other day. We had some crazy training sessions. Like nobody does that shit anymore. Like we used to, Nick. We used to wake up every Saturday and drive to Astoria, Queens. Right? It was at the Golds. Was it Astoria?
Howard Beach.
Howard Beach Golds. We'd all work out together. Fac would look at us, right? Change our stuff on paper. Then we'd go home. And then I, on Sunday, would wake up, drive 2.5 hours to Connecticut, pose with Kenny, and then drive. I did it for 16 fucking weeks. Saturday and Sunday didn't exist in my world because both days I was not around.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That sounds like the shit I would do.
It's what we had to do back then. You know, like back then we didn't have. I think Skype was just like fucking coming around.
Well, yeah, nowadays you can just do a fucking video call and go through the motions. You know?
Fact, how many pro cards people have you turned pro?
118.
I mean, got that number down.
I gotta get that number up.
He answered that quick as fuck. He's like,
he answered that like he answered his social security number. Which
Hey, wait. I have to agree with Nick on something. So I saw a clip of Nick calling you an asshole.
Oh, here we go.
Let me tell you the first time. Hold on a second. Let me tell you the first time I actually saw a guy. So I was prepping a friend of mine for the
fuck you, Nick.
Metropolitan in 2008. So Chris Nardini was my friend. He was not my client at that time, but he was my friend, client, whatever. So he won the overall. And when Guy came backstage,
oh, dude, you know what's crazy? I know how mad. I don't remember you back there, but I was. That's what I didn't. I never won an overall, and I think I almost threw my trophy. I was that fucking pissed. But go ahead.
You threw chairs backstage. Like we were ducking. I was like, yo, let's get out. This guy is crazy, man. We need to get out of here.
I was so fucking pissed that show. And you know what's crazy? I've never gotten mad at a show like that. For some reason, that show, I was so fucking pissed off that I didn't win the overall. I was so fucking mad.
It was close, man. It was close because Chris was good. but Guy was like young, and Guy was fucking shredded, you know. So it was a really cool show, man.
But then, but
Nick said that last week when I saw it on the podcast. I was like, I have to tell this story, man.
dude, Nick, some of my strongest lifts I've ever had were while I was working with Fak. Like I was like you obviously you're much bigger than me, so you handle it. But like, dude, I was shoulder pressing 140s for fucking reps. I was benching, inclining 405, fucking squatting 5-6 plates. Like it was not like it was like
How many reps? How many reps?
Oh, everything I just named was 10 to 12 reps. Everything that just came out of my mouth.
Easy.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I have a video of me inclining 170s for 10.
Yeah.
Like I was back then at 230, 240.
Guy,
I mean, I was chubby, but
guy, Fak can answer this too. What do you guys prefer, dumbbell or barbell?
Back then, it would be both. Like I would alternate like week to week. So I would do, let's say, a flat dumbbell, and then I'll go to like a bar incline, and then alternate it. I really never used machines for compound movements until like I reached like honestly like 48. I'm 51 now, but I've always trained with free weights. No, yeah, it's true, man. I've always trained with free weights, man. And
dude, Fak gave us plans like to follow, like an outline of like what he expected a leg day to be, or a chest, and it was written out. It was like barbell, dumbbell, barbell. It was like that's just.
I love dumbbells over a barbell. Yeah, I've always been a dumbbell guy.
Fakhri, have you ever seen Nick? Like even when he's done it in front of me, I'll just sit there and smile like a fucking loser. But he'll grab 150 pound, 160, 170 pound dumbbells and just fucking.
Slow repetitions, but they don't change. It doesn't change at all.
And like it's effortlessly. Like I used to have 140s. It was like,
yeah.
He's like.
So I messaged Nick a couple weeks ago because there was.
Did he message you back? Because lately it's been 3 fucking days.
I messaged him back, bro.
Yeah, of course you did.
He must like me more than he likes you.
Of course.
So everybody talks about Nick, how Nick doesn't like lift heavy weights because they catch him doing like 5-plate leg presses or like low weight or whatever, like in the middle of the set, whatever he posts, you know what I'm saying? And it drives me fucking nuts because I know of Nick through Jeff Long, and I know of Nick because he's from Jersey. And I tell everybody Nick is strong as fuck. If Nick wanted to do an X amount of weight, he could. So when people reference back to Nick about how Nick doesn't lift heavy, it's like they're trying to quantify the reason of why they don't lift heavy. But the dude is 300 pounds. How could he not lift heavy, you know? And that drives me bananas.
True or false? You can tell me if I'm full of shit. I feel that I can look at a physique on stage, if all things considered equal and everybody's in shape. You can look at somebody's physique and go, that motherfucker lifts heavy.
100%.
Yeah.
And that motherfucker lifts intense. Like you look at like a Kai Green, a Branch Warren, a Dorian Yates, a Kevin Levrone, like the guys that just fucking trained heavy. They had that grainy, gnarly cross striation, like just fucking physique to them, you know, like that granite fucking texture. Yeah. And then there's guys that have like a gorgeous physique or very like look at Dexter was peeled, but he wasn't gnarly, grainy, hard. Flex Wheeler wasn't gnarly. He was cut deep insertions, crazy lines, bubbly muscles, but just very different physiques.
Yeah.
Right.
That density doesn't lie. Density does not lie, man.
Who, out of everybody you've trained with, who was the strongest guy you've ever trained with? Because you've trained with a lot of people. You've trained with some monsters. Like I always talk about when I used to train with Rolly, like how he would just fucking just put ply. I don't think he would count numbers, Nick. It was like 1 plate, 2 plate, 3 plate, 4 plate, 5. Like he counted in plates. It wasn't like 4 or 5. Because you train with a lot of fucking big names. Like Jeff Long was strong.
Yeah,
Jeff at one point was very strong.
Yeah.
That's when we were training together.
Yeah.
Guy, Chris Conti, and myself. I mean, how many people really like dumbbell press 170 like you did? You know?
Yeah, but there was definitely guys that were way fucking bigger and stronger than me, dude.
Though, man. I mean, think about Ronnie Coleman. He used to do 200 pounds. You know, we're doing like 170s, 180s. So like, how many people could really, you know, I never try to toot my own. I mean, I'm fucking competitive. Don't get me wrong.
You were strong as shit. You used to hang with us.
Strong as shit, though. But I mean, as far as like training wise, those numbers are like up there with everybody else, man. You know.
I trained I remember I trained a couple times with like Luke Sandow. He was a monster. Dallas McCarver was insane.
I trained with Dallas a couple times.
Jose was strong as fucking shit. Branch Warren was a maniac. Kai was just like a machine, couldn't stop. Like
Kai was like that at 15, man.
Go for 3 hours and not even stop.
Yeah.
Dude, totally just popped in my head. I just looked at my dogs. And I don't know why I'm breaking fucking the momentum, but I have to. It's a sad story. Just never heard of anything like it.
What happened?
So one of my fucking good friends, he posted about it today, which is the only reason I'm talking about it, because it just happened. So the fact, we're all dog lovers, so that's why I know this will fucking hit home. So my buddy came over on New Year's and we were talking about dogs. I have a 15-year-old pit bull that's old and she doesn't have a ton of time left, but it just, you know, she's 15. She's lived a long life at 15. You know, we've done a lot with her. And he was talking about his dog, he got a golden retriever, horrible back legs. He's 11. Like, he's probably not going to last that much longer. But long story short, puts the dog down last Sunday. So a week ago, yesterday. Okay, sad, but like he told me he had the lady come to the house. They put the dog down. He said it was like beautiful. Like, they fed him. She was like, I was feeding him. His fiance was like, I was feeding him chocolate all day, like, because he was going to heaven and blah, blah, blah. So it was very nice. Calls me Saturday. Okay, I'm going to a venison dinner with, I just pulled up to my buddy Joe's house. I'm picking up my buddy Joe, my buddy John. He calls me. Now, he called me twice and I was in the shower, but I was rushing to get out of the fucking house because I was at my gym, ran home, took care of the dog, showered. I heard the phone ring. I was like, I'll call him when I get fucking on the road. So he goes, I pick up. I'm like, hello. And I could hear in his voice something wasn't right. And I was like, you're right. And he was like, where are you? I said, I'm just picking up my buddies. What's going on? He's like, oh, I'll talk to you later. I don't want to talk to you now. And I go, no. What's going on, dude? He's like, no, you're with your friends. Like, I don't want to fucking be a buzzkill at dinner. I said, dude, what the fuck's going on? He goes, did you see that I don't know why he sent me this, but I mean, whatever. I think he was just in shock. He goes, did you see the video I sent you? I go, no, dude. I said, I said, dude, I was at my gym, drove an hour home, fucking changed dogs. Guy got back on the road. I said, I haven't even looked at my phone, dude. He was like, look at your phone. Looked at my phone because he had a camera, like a dog camera inside. His fiance sitting on the couch. Dog's got 2 fucking paws up on the windowsill, barking at a neighbor walking by. Dog falls over, drops dead, 4 years old. Just put down his 11-year-old on Sunday, and his 4-year-old dropped dead of a heart attack on Saturday. Just dropped dead. And like he sent me the video, like, on camera. Like, it looked like somebody just like sniped the dog out of thin air. Like, 1 minute the dog's up on the ledge barking, and then it just barks and just falls over. He lost both fucking dogs in 6 days. Like, I've never seen anything like. I was at my vet today because my one dog, every year in February I'm at the vet for horrible skin. He's just horrible allergies. Like, to the point where like his fur it's just horrible. And I showed my vet. And I was like, have you ever? And she watched the video and she was just watching the video and she was like this. She goes, Guy, I have never in all my life seen anything like that. And dude, the dog they ran every test. They didn't do an autopsy, but they ran every test on the dog, blood work to see if it was a diabetic, sugar was low, like if it was a stroke, nothing.
Heart attack.
So I was like, that dog, that dog died of a broken heart. I go, its brother died 6 days ago, and then it just had a heart attack. Like, it doesn't happen. Yeah. Like, it was such I mean, he came over for the Super Bowl, which was good. But dude, I sit here every podcast. I tell Nick, like, I'm every podcast. I couldn't, like, dude, I couldn't imagine, man. I couldn't one, let alone both in a week. You've always had 2 dogs too for a while, right? You still have 2?
Yeah, so I have 14 urns of all
Oh
the.
my God.
I have all the ashes from
14?
14 urns, yeah. And I have 2 right now. They're right in front of me. 2 bull terriers.
Now you've always had bull terriers, right?
No, so my first bull terrier was Cleopatra. She was actually the
Cleo was
cousin.
around. I remember her.
Yeah, remember Cleo?
I remember Cleo. Yeah.
She was the cousin of Rufus, the bull terrier that won the dog show, the Westminster 2006. But ever since then, I fell in love with bull terriers.
Yeah. Dogs are awesome, man. I mean, it's sad that they don't have as long a life as humans, but I mean, dude, they're so fucking great, man. People that don't like dogs, I don't think I could ever fuck with, man.
I was talking to Neil about that. Actually, we were talking yesterday about that.
Neil,
and everything else.
Neil
Hill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we were talking about animal cruelty and everything, man, and we were just agreeing on a lot of shit we can't say in public.
I can't watch those videos.
Me neither.
Can't.
It's disgusting.
I refuse.
Yeah, can't.
Fact. What's different about back when you competed, I competed, versus now? You're what now? Don't say social media. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
As far as just bodybuilding as a whole, right? You have Nick, who's fucking a spring chicken. Just turned 30. You're 48.
51.
51. Okay.
Right.
Well, you don't look it. I'm 42. You're 51. Me and you me and Nick are close in a gap the way me and you are, but me and you came up around the same era. You were a little bit before me, but essentially around the same time frame group of guys. As far when you look at bodybuilding, right? Because if I ask what was bodybuilding to you back when you competed, and I asked Nick the same thing, I think I might get different answers for different reasons. You know, and I think that's because of the time era of when we competed. What's the biggest difference then to now? And what's the biggest, I guess, positive and the biggest negative? Because we could sit here and say that there's positive and negatives of both.
I think when you look at competitive bodybuilding nowadays, it's become popularized, right? It's everybody does it, and most people don't do it for the correct reason. Most people don't compete or bodybuild because they love it. They like to do it because it creates likes and it brings them attention, you know. And I think that's a big part of it. And I know pros, I know pros that have won pro shows, younger guys that I know for a fact don't love bodybuilding. For me, bodybuilding is my love, is my passion. You know, God knows I've done a lot of things in life outside of bodybuilding, but I always end up back in bodybuilding because it's my love. And I think that's the biggest thing. When you get to like Nick's level, you know, it's different because he has to love bodybuilding, you know. And Nick is a little different though, because you could tell Nick has that old school mentality, you know? And so does Samson, so does Derek, so does Hadi. Like the top guys have that mentality. But there's a lot of guys even on the Olympia stage that I don't think love bodybuilding as much as we did.
Now, when you say bodybuilding, are you talking about the standing on stage or bodybuilding the way I think about it, like the training, the nitty gritty, the going through it, the like that stuff?
I think both, man. And because I've taken flack in the past by saying bodybuilding is not a hard sport when you compare it to other things in life, right? It's hard because we have to wake up in the morning. We have to train our asses off. We have to be fucking perfect, bring our very best on stage, right?
See, so watch this. I agree with you, but I think that's why it is hard, because you don't have to do it.
Right.
And that's the hard part, right? It's that, like you just said, well, you have to do. You're right. In order to look and win, yes, but the have to isn't real, because we're not on a team with a coach and pointing and telling us and moving and drills, and so it's like it's a have to based on a want.
Right. So that's exactly where I was going. You finished my thought. So going to the gym, training, and doing stuff like that isn't that hard if you're just winging it and you have good genetics, you know. But if you have a goal to win the Arnold, to win the New York Pro, to win 7 pro shows like you did, guy, you know, that's a different mentality. And I think more guys had it back then. You know, it's just everybody does it now. And like I said, I know guys that have won pro shows, and I could guarantee you put them on a lot of tests, and they don't love bodybuilding. They do it because they're good at it and they have good genetics. I think that's the biggest change now.
Do you think there would be a lot of, I'm going to ask Nick this first. Nick, not you, but do you think there would be as much of a buzz around bodybuilding if there wasn't social media?
No.
So you think I don't want to call it self-entitlement, but like the gratification off of posting and being able to show off what you're doing is a big reason why some people sign up for the sport.
Well, just like to Fac's point, I personally know many kids that don't want to compete, but they know it'll get them the likes, it'll give them the views, it'll blow up their YouTube. So they will just be like, oh, I'm going to start a prep and get ready for a show. Knowing damn well they don't like it, they really don't want to do it, but they also just want to have the mindset of I have something to do and it's going to help my YouTube and I'll get peeled at the end of it. But they don't love it. That's why most of the influencers, they're one and done. They do one show and then you don't hear from them for a few years. Why? Because they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But I think but when people watch that, it glamorizes bodybuilding in a sense where people will go, oh, well, I'm going to do it too then.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. See, I always looked at bodybuilding as like a byproduct. I'm like, well, I love training. I love eating healthy. Like I love the torture of it. So I was like, well, if the end result is just throwing on some fucking tan and posing, might as well do that too. Like, so I always say that like I wasn't a bodybuilder because like I always say that you're either you love to train and that's why you're a bodybuilder, or you're a bodybuilder because you love to train. It's like two different ways of thinking about it. And I was always the type where the only reason why I was a bodybuilder was because the training was involved. If the training wasn't involved, I wouldn't be a bodybuilder because I was so obsessed with being in the gym. And that's why everybody's like, you do too much now. And I'm like, that's what I enjoy. Like today, I'm like, I got to take my dogs to the vet at 2:30. So I could either rush around and try to get back and fucking, you know, like maybe get a 30-minute workout in, or I could go at 10 o'clock in the morning, get my full fucking workout in and not be pissed. So I was like, fuck, I'm going to the gym at 10 o'clock. Like I still make sure I get it in, regardless of how big I am or how much juice that I'm taking. Like I still have that mindset where like, no, I still write my shit in a journal like an idiot. But think about it, right? I still being able to still work out, still write my stuff down, still eat healthy, still wake up and do cardio. Out of 100% of bodybuilding, I lost the stage. So I lost 10% of what bodybuilding was to me. And I think that's where people, when they retire, they forget where they came from. Just because you're not putting tan on and taking loads of gear, that is 10, 15, 20% of 100% net worth of what bodybuilding is. So you can still do the other 80%. But the problem is, it shows what you love, because a lot of people, and Nick knows, Fat, a lot of people, they can't take all the gear and they can't get the self-gratification for being on stage. The other 80% they don't do, and that's when they just wither away and look like dog shit.
Oh yeah, no gear, no training.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people's mindsets.
Nick, how many guys do you know, bodybuilders or not, that always go, oh yeah, when I get back on gear, I'm gonna get back in the gym?
A lot.
But
probably too many to count. But see, that's the sad part, because like even me, TRT off, whatever you want to call it, I'm still training the same way as if I was, on cycle, or you know what I mean? It doesn't change.
Fact, Nick is annoyingly strict when he's dieting. He's actually even annoyingly strict when he's in the off season. Like he will
You said strict?
He like annoying, like how like some guys in the off season where like if it's like an off season, I'm going somewhere. I won't bring my food. I'll just get him. Like Nick is like but this is why he's annoyingly strict sometimes. Like no, I can't. I can't come over because I have to sleep and train, and I'm like, oh my god, dude.
No, yeah. If I'm going out for like 3 or 4 hours, I'm packing like 4 meals with me. No, because you gotta listen.
Yeah.
Sometimes shit happens, right? And
I
that 4
agree.
hours may turn to 6, 7. You get caught up, and it's like, if you're going out
Blow
to
a
a friend's
tire.
house, right? Going to your friend's house, they're like, oh, let's go get food. I'm gonna be like, let's ride. I got my food. We good to go.
Yeah.
Then, but otherwise I'd be like, nah, I'll catch y'all later. I'm gonna go home. Nah, I'm prepared. I got my food. Let's go.
Yeah,
Always be prepared with an extra meal.
it's true. That is the truth. But Guy, you know what? You were the same fucking way.
Nick,
And
you should make a shirt. AVP.
You're still annoying if you're writing shit down in the journal like I am.
Yeah, you still write your shit down, you old bastard. What the fuck you calculating for?
I don't calculate anything. If you look at my journals, where it says 7:15, 5 grams of glutamine, lemon juice, apple cider vinegar. It says like 10:45, trained at Golds. I wrote down what I did. 1:30, protein shake with blah blah blah. The 5 o'clock with eggs. I just write my multivitamins. I don't know why. It's just a habit, bro. It's a habit.
I'm on a podcast.
I tried to throw it out. I tried to throw the fucking journal in the garbage. I've done it. I've thrown it out so many times. Like, I'm done. I don't need this fucking thing. Like, I can do it. I don't need the fucking journal. I can do it without it. And 2 days later, I'm at Staples spending $1.50 on a credit card because I gotta get a journal.
That's funny.
But you know how crazy Guy is, Nick. We're sitting at a show last year, and we're talking, and I asked him. We were talking about something else, and I'm like, bro, you're one of the greatest 212 bodybuilders of all time. He goes, get the fuck out of here. You know how he is. I'm like, how many? He said 7. I said, how many other people have won 7? It's not many. And he doesn't Guy is so humble that he doesn't understand that he is one of the greatest 212s of all time. You don't have to win Olympia, but you're the path you took and the amount of wins you did put you as one of the greatest of all time. And same thing with you, Nick. Look what you've done in such a short amount of time. So you guys are both like insanely crazy about your daily activities, and that's why you're both great.
It's crazy. I've probably been that way since I was 16 years old.
But you know what, Nick? I think and you know what's crazy is I was very zoned in on what I was going to do with my life very early on. And like, I can go into a lot of like people trying to get me off the path because, dude, it's different for you. But Nick, in fact, I don't know if it was how you were, bro. And where I grew up, I was the only fucking bodybuilder. Nobody fucking had a clue what it was.
Yeah, bro. Like where I'm
like,
at in like South Jersey, there was no one. I was the only one at the time. Besides Jeff at the time, but he was already almost retired. But I was like the only one that like was taking it as serious as I was at the time. No one else.
But true or false, when you're the only one doing it, there's nobody to bounce ideas off of. There's no coaches. There's nobody to ask. It was a lot harder. Like there was literally, I had a gentleman by the name of Steve Pappas, who was the guy that coached me. He was like Mr. North New Jersey. And I thought I was getting coached by like Mr. Olympia back then. You know what I'm saying? It was somebody that just was older than me, that was a bodybuilder. I got ready for my first show. I did a West Virginia state championships and like whatever. Yeah, West Virginia. And bro, I went through all this, the fucking training, the posing. I got my posing team together. Fucking, I did my first song ever was X Gonna Give It To You by DMX. I was fucking real trooper. Dude, I'm standing. I'll never forget this song. I have the videos too. I'm trying to get them on a USB drive so I can. They fucking call us out. Fucking front relax, bro. I'm just standing there. Quarter turn. I just turned to this. I'm just standing, like legit, like just standing like this. And then all of a sudden, like there's Nick. I'm like this. I'm not even joking. I'm just standing like this.
He's relaxed.
They're like quarter turn. I'm like, and then all of a sudden on like the last quarter turn, you see me. And all of a sudden, I see the guy in front, so you see me start doing this.
So you mimic him?
I'm like, yeah. Dude, he didn't teach me how to do any quarter turns. I had no idea what I was doing. And like, that's what I got coached by. Like nobody. It was so big. Fact bodybuilding. I can find it. I have they put an article in the local newspaper. Because I won the show in West Virginia. Because it was so fucking outlandishly weird that I was fucking bodybuilding. That's how rare it was.
So
Crazy.
for me, I didn't have anybody around me. So I 17 years old. I started buying the magazines. Well, my cousins were bodybuilders when I was young. You know, like 10, 11 years old. He's from Florida. They were just like whatever, like national bodybuilders, not even like regional bodybuilders.
Can I pause you for a second? Yeah. Well, I can cut this out if you want, because I know people are going to comment because they're fucking assholes. No. I don't think a lot of people realize that you almost died. Yeah. You had double pneumonia, and I think I just want to touch on it because I know.
Well, I didn't know that.
Well, yeah. Hold on, because people are going to make comments because they're jerk offs, because people are ruthless about you have that slight lisp, and I think people don't realize that was a that happened due to you being in it was in a coma, right?
Yeah, so I had.
Can you just explain that real quick to people?
So, oh no shit, that's what that's from.
So, yes.
Yeah. So I did my first show.
I thought you always had that.
No.
Well, that's how I knew Fak when like that was, you know.
Well, you know Fak. I know Fak.
Yeah, no, I didn't mumble.
Weirdo.
Yeah, I didn't have a list. I didn't mumble. So in November of 2000, after my first show, I felt sick, and I remember the NPC Nationals were in New York, and I went there, and I was fucking sweating my ass off, and everybody looked at me, they were like, "Fak, what's wrong?" Caprice, Victor, everybody was like coming over to me like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I don't know, I'm just sweaty, I'm just hot." So somewhere along the line, I got sick leading into that show, but I was never sick. I never missed a day of school because I was sick. I used to go outside naked and do angels in the snow. I've never been sick, man. I got double pneumonia and then COVID. That Thanksgiving in 2000, my brothers and my ex-wife's little brother slept over, and I'm like a big kid, guys. Like I'm up all night playing video games. Like, you know, I'm like putting things in people's ears and stuff. I'm still like that. So yeah. So I was sick the whole weekend, and then that Monday when everybody left, I was about to go to sleep, but I felt like I was going in and out. It's like I couldn't, like, in and out of water. So I looked at my ex-wife and I said, "I think we should call the ambulance." And she was like, "What?" Now remember, like, I'm like Superman for my family. Like I've been supporting my family since I was. When people say like a kid, they mean a kid like in their 20s. I've been supporting my family. It's like, God knows my story, you know, for a long time. You know, when I was a teenager already. So I couldn't wait for the ambulance because I couldn't breathe. So when I got to the hospital, I took off my shirt and I was like, they did X-rays. My left lung was full of fluid, 94%. My right lung was full of fluid, 96%.
You were drowning.
I was drowning. My breathing was at 72. So right after the X-rays, I went into, the doctor was like, "We need to rush you into we need to induce you into a coma." I'm like, "Wait a minute, how am I supposed to eat every 2 hours? I just did my first show."
That would have been me. That would have been me.
You're like, motherfucker, you're going to sleep for a couple hours.
I'm like, how am I supposed to eat every 2 hours? So they induced me into a coma, and I was in a coma for 8 days, man. And they read me. That was Monday. They read me my last rites on Wednesday morning. When I woke up from the coma, I was in the ER, the main ER with the camera and everything for like 2 days. And then when they moved me down to the regular room, there was my roommate at the hospital was fucking snoring. So I called my friend up. I'm like, "Can you bring me a whole bunch of McDonald's?" He was like, "For what?" I said, "Bring me McDonald's." So he bought the McDonald's. I put it all over the room, and I escaped. The McDonald's was like a little like.
You blamed him?
No. So what I did with the McDonald's food was like I put it in the room. That way the nurses didn't think I escaped. You know, they thought I was like walking around the hospital.
I thought you like
from the hospital.
I thought you put McDonald's in there and said that he ate it when he wasn't supposed to, so they kicked him out.
I woke up to from the coma. I woke up to a Peter Luger steak and a Carvel ice cream cake, man.
Really?
25 friends, yeah, man. Yeah.
So what was the inducing in a coma? Was it to relax your lung, like, or something?
So the fluid was there for such a long time, and during the whole prep, I was feeling tired. I was feeling like I couldn't breathe, but it was my first prep, right? So I thought that's what everybody felt like, because everybody's always the same way. They're tired during the preps, and they're like fatigued and stuff. So that's what I thought I had. But in reality, I had that ammonia building up on me. So it became paste in my lungs. They had to go in and like almost like
Rape it.
paste out. So I had tubes. I mean, I was on life support. Like I had tubes here, tubes in my nose, mouth. I was literally on life support. So on Wednesday morning, they read me my last rites, and then the next Tuesday is when I came out of the coma. But
then
anybody who says it's because of PEDs, it's not. I didn't start PEDs until June, and this happened in November.
And then you said, what else? I know you said you came out of the coma. You had a list. Was there anything else that occurred?
Yeah. So they had to reteach me. I had a speech therapist.
Crazy.
They had to teach me how to rebalance myself, because being induced in a coma and being so sick, the oxygen, of course, at 72, when I was still breathing, it kept dropping. So the oxygen dropped so much that it tweaked the part of my brain. So my speech was impaired, my walking was impaired, my writing was impaired. So it took me about like 4 months, 5 months to like get myself even back to like just doing everyday activities. And that's how I escaped from the hospital. I was supposed to be in the hospital for like another month and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
Another month
and a half. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I was still sick. I still had pneumonia.
Nick they would have to put Nick in the insane asylum if they said he was staying in the hospital.
Yeah.
That's why
I'm like, no, I gotta work out.
Gotta work out.
Like,
Nick, I'm trying to think. You've never had surgery, right? Knock on wood.
I mean, I had my tonsils out. Does that count?
I mean, not really, but yeah.
I had my wisdom teeth out.
No, I wouldn't count that.
Well, then no, I guess.
Okay. Fact, you have any besides being in a coma, even though it's not a surgery, you've had any major surgeries?
Nah, no major surgeries, no injuries.
So you got good shoulders, hips, knees.
I did a 39-inch vertical the other day at the gym, standing vertical.
Dude, really? I had a 36 in college. I thought that was high. Jesus Christ.
39, man. 39, no woman, but no nothing, man.
That's because you had those big ass calves still. Like
true story. I tried to jump and hit the thing, and I completely missed.
You shouldn't try to do anything. Just
I missed.
Stay on the ground.
I literally swiped air, bro. I missed.
In fact, this guy fucking 2 years ago tears a hamstring, and he goes, "I'll never fucking stiff leg heavy again."
Yeah, right.
There's no fact. There is no reason to fucking stiff leg 4 or 5 plates. There's nothing I can get from 4 plates that I can't get from fucking 2 plates. Fast forward to fucking 6 to 8 months later, he's posting fucking stiff leg and 5 plates on his fucking Instagram.
I know.
I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
I just did them today.
Oh my God.
Dude, fact. You know what though? But you know what? It's I shake my head at him, but I'm like, dude, when I got back from double shoulder surgery, the doctor was like, you'll probably keep it, I wouldn't go over 100 pounds or maybe even 80. Like, don't really
100 pounds, but fuck you, bro.
I was like, look, after like the 4th week, I was like, I remember I made a post. I was like, let's test these anchors out in my shoulder. You can't blame the kid for that.
The problem is we had this talk last time. This shit's fun, bro. Like, I love deadlifting or any type of deadlift, so I'm gonna do it.
If you're a bodybuilder and you don't go to the gym and actually enjoy like pushing your, like, even now, right? Like, I know my shoulders are bad, so I know my shoulder days are just mediocre, right? But I can still fucking row. I can still squat. So, dude, I mean, it's not a lot, but I'll still go on the pendulum and throw 4 or 5 plates on. And
how much you barbell rowing?
I won't go over 275.
Really? You won't?
I could do 315. I mean, I've done it, but there's no reason. Like, I did 225 today, and then 2 sets of 275.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
No, really? I think that's a joke.
That's not bad for old guy.
Hey, fuck you, mother. Listen, I'll shave this beard and I'll be the youngest looking guy in here.
Oh shit!
Calm down. Calm down.
Hey,
Calm
listen.
down.
Oh, look at that! Oh my, he's getting a DA, man. He's bringing it back to the 80s.
Oh, dude, speaking of bad dancing, bro, that fucking Super Bowl
Halftime show was trash, bro.
everything about that fucking Super Bowl. And what's crazy is the podcast we put out today was we talked about it. I said in that podcast, and I'm so glad it was in the reel that Lewis and his brother-in-law did, because I said if Patrick Mahomes doesn't have the refs on his side, he's going to be fucked. And I thought after that first pass,
That
back, did
first
you watch
one,
the
right?
ball? Back, did you that first? Yeah, that first pass when they called pass interference. I'm like,
There's
we
that.
go. Here we go. And I said, I said they better make up for that fucking bad pass interference call. I said, because this game's going to be a long fucking game. And dude, I don't know what it was, but I said he either threw that game.
Yeah, no.
Because Philly shouldn't have been able on a 4-man rush to get the fucking Mahomes every play. Listen, Philly, and I'm a Giant fan, right?
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, but I'm a Giant fan. I'm a Saquon Barkley fan. I never thought we should have got rid of him. He's a phenomenal player. I was rooting for Philly.
They shut the run down on him though.
Yeah, they did. But I was an Eagles fan last night through and through. Was rooting for the Eagles. But bro, Patrick Mahomes almost looked like he threw the game. It was that bad. Like he was missing fucking targets, overthrowing, throwing behind receivers. Fucking, when did you ever hear of Mahomes throwing a pick six? Or he had 11 QB rating, a QBR. Like he did awful. The biggest game of your life, you fucking shit the bed that bad. Like you have to think that something had to happen, bro. What did you think?
So their first Super Bowl with each other, the Eagles were like not dominating, but they had the game in their hands. They had the lead. You know, they had a couple of bad turnovers, and then Kansas City kicked the field goal to win the game 38-35. So it wasn't like Patrick Mahomes dominated the first Super Bowl between both of them. No. I think it was just pure violence yesterday, man. Just violence.
I think Eagles just whooped that ass.
I agree, 100%.
No, I did too. So you think it was just a combination of the Eagles playing so good that it just made them play so bad?
Well, I think the Chiefs were just cocky, man, and then they got their ass fucking screwed up.
Fact, you're from Queens, right? You're not from Philly, right?
No, there's a story about this. So
I just got a question. I got a question. Did you hear about? I don't know why every fucking time you motherfuckers win something, that you have to like go haywire in your city. But do you know
that cars on fire and shit, bro?
Do you know
fucking burn buildings down?
Dude, do you know that they were stealing that people? I got to take a picture. This says your disc is full. I don't know what that means. Do you know that people stole horses last night and were riding people's horses around Philly?
Well, Philly fans are the worst fans in the world. Everybody.
Can you imagine getting your horse stolen? Like, who the fuck steals a fucking horse?
Could you imagine just walking down the street and someone stealing a horse? That's hilarious.
Imagine imagine walking down the street going,
you're just minding your own business.
Well, no, imagine seeing a guy on your horse.
Your horse.
Like, you'd be like,
like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah, in fact, why do they always end up destroying your city or destroying that city?
Yeah, have any of you guys ever been to a Philadelphia sporting event?
Yeah, it's a shit show. That's my favorite though.
A Philly sporting event?
Yeah.
No. Any of them.
Wait, no, I did. I went to a Giant Philly game once.
How was that?
Not so good. I think I got yelled at a couple times.
Yeah, man.
For sure you did, you fucking asshole.
But you know what? I got to be honest. At Philly games, there are a lot. Like when Phillies play like local teams, like the Giants, Jets. Like there's actually a lot of mixed.
It's close.
Oh well, yeah.
You know, so I think I got a couple comments.
Wait. Hold on. Fact, you're from Philly.
No, I'm from
No.
New York. I'm from
Oh.
Brooklyn. Yeah, I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
That's why I don't understand. So, what's the story about how somehow you should have been a Giants or Jets fan, you ended up a Philly fan? Let's hear this
Well,
fucking story.
obviously, I bleed Yankee blue. Everybody knows. I'm always wearing my Yankee hat, and I always dress like a Smurf because I'm always wearing blue somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
You always have your Yankee hat on, and
Pretty
your
much.
French,
Yeah,
and your French, wait, and your
Mhm.
and your retro 13 French blues.
Oh, those are both our favorites. Those are both our favorites. Matter of fact, you bought me a pair. You bought me a pair of Flints. That's right. In 1980, I asked one of my friends, "Where do the Giants play? Do they play where in New York?" And he said they play in
Jersey.
Yeah, they play in Jersey. So I'm like, I'm not a fucking New York team, man. So I picked the Eagles. But I've been an Eagles fan since 1980.
Fuck
My
yeah, Eagles fan, baby.
my Uncle John growing up.
Yeah.
Huh?
All right.
Fuck yeah.
Nick played baseball. That was his sport. You didn't know that?
No.
I did.
Yeah.
I grew up a baseball player.
That fat arm actually pitched.
You a pitcher?
I was.
No way, man. Well, how many miles
Imagine.
an hour can you throw?
My fastest fastball was 92 miles per hour.
I would have sent that bitch over to fucking center field, son.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I would have struck your old ass out, bro.
Can you still pitch? Because I can still swing a bat.
No, I'll tell you what. No, I still can't. You want to know why? I'll tell you the story. So toward the end of my baseball career was when I was putting on like a lot of size. And there was one pitch where I went to throw my fastball, and somebody in the audience clapped and said, "Nice changeup." And I knew at that time my career has ended. So that was basically the end of my baseball career. And then I took the bodybuilding route after.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like the next pitch you fucking wound up as hard as you could and like threw your shoulder out.
I threw it at the fan.
That's what I was waiting for. Like I was waiting for like the fucking next pitch, man. I just grabbed the fucking ball and threw as hard as I could, and fucking I heard it pop, and I never could throw again. Like that was the buildup I was waiting.
I was
for.
still at the time. I was still a great hitter. Like I was the number 4 batter, so I was just hitting home runs left and right. I could still do it, but my pitching days were just long gone. They were after that.
Yeah, I see. I played baseball. I was a catcher, second base, and I pitched up until high school. I pitched sidearm.
No.
You were a sidearm?
Because no, dude, I just when
I
don't know.
Is I purposely taught myself to pitch sidearm so I could confuse batters, and I would strike people out all the time.
So, dude, I threw in 8th grade. I threw a no-hitter throwing sidearm, and then I got going into high school. They tried to make me 7th grade. Then going into 8th grade, they tried to make me an overhand pitcher because they said that they were trying to save my shoulders.
Yeah, because sidearm is bad.
I had to take all these lessons to be an overhand pitcher, and I was, but I just wasn't as good. So before my shoulders got bad, dude, I can grab a ball on the mound and just wind up, and nobody even showed me how to throw sidearm. That was naturally how I threw the ball. And
Awesome.
and I think it was because I was like a Randy Johnson fan. Remember the pitcher Randy Johnson? And how he used to fucking just wind up and just like he was a really sidearm pitcher. And I don't know. And then once I started throwing overhand, I just sucked. Weird that going from something that is more compromising on your shoulder, you think would be a worse way to do it, but I couldn't get it together throwing overhand. I just wasn't accurate, wasn't fast.
What was your fastest?
Oh, I don't even know. I don't even know if they ever back then, they even like at that age, even had a gun on that shit. Dude, back then, I mean, I don't know, like, in fact, I played basketball, baseball for the town, football for the town. Then in high school, I was on track, football. I did town basketball while I was in high school, and I did town basketball and town no town baseball. And then I also cheered in high school. Then I just played football in college. That was it.
I'm sorry. What you said? What?
What was that one?
So hold on, Junior. Hold on, before you fucking.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Hold on, in high school, me and this kid Brian Medinsky, who were the middle linebackers, they asked us. We did like he had a girl and I had a girl, and we just like we would do like the throwing the girls, but like he threw one girl specifically. I threw one girl specifically, and like we didn't do any of the fucking spear finger shits. We just threw,
Bullshit.
caught,
Cap.
and no. Do you want to know why? Because in college, right, my friend Kim, that was on the cheer team, tried to get me after football season to be on the cheer team and do the same thing in college. I went I went to one practice, and they practice in the auditorium where the basketball players like play like volleyball and all that shit, like in the auditorium. And I saw the guys in the weight room because there was an open, clear thing where you could look
And
into
they fucking laughed.
They were looking at me, and I fucking just go. That I went to one practice and never went back. And I said, "I'm sorry, I can't do this."
That's funny.
Yeah, but it was it was but back in my point was in high school. Were you still, Nick? Were you still able to play like town sports? Like, because I know like
did.
that.
My freshman and sophomore year, I did. Yeah.
So you did what? You did high school baseball and town baseball, or
Yeah. It was. I wasn't easy. I eventually had to pick one, but I was still able to pull it off. Still, yeah.
did you have was there like a travel, like a Babe Ruth league? Because I remember if you were like good in baseball, you did like the travel league, the town league.
Yeah.
You did that too, Fact?
Yeah.
What position?
I played second base, center field. I played Babe Ruth League. I played youth service with Manny Ramirez, Frankie Rodriguez, Solomon Watson, Steve Carsey.
So why did you stop?
I was a knucklehead, man.
Yeah.
Really? Just stop because?
So I was a really good baseball player, but we went to a tournament in Texas, and I remember there was a kid, he was like 6'5", playing for a team in Texas. He was throwing like 96 miles an hour. And in that tournament, I went 2 for 18. And I remember asking Manny, who went like 15 for like 18. I'm like, what are you seeing? Like, what is he throwing? And he told me in Spanish, yo no sé, I don't know. He goes, I'm just hitting it. He said it all in Spanish. And I'm like, what the fuck? So like, I wasn't applying myself as much as I needed to when I was like 15, 16, 17. By 17, I stopped playing baseball. But I was good. I mean, I'm not going to say I was going to make it to the major leagues or minor leagues. But I did play for good teams, though.
Is there like, since you guys were really good in baseball, like I was okay. I wasn't. You guys are probably way better than I was in baseball. Do you think, is there like a sweet spot for an age where like you really have to excel for baseball to like really get it? Because I know like in football, there's that age gap where like if you don't get it from this to this, like you ain't gonna get it really if you don't get it right here. Is there a gap is there an age gap where baseball where like guys will like either have to excel or they're just gonna fall off?
I'd say like any other sport. I feel like it's young, man. I feel like between 10, 12 years old. Yeah. If you're really playing hard, if you don't get it by then, you're probably not really ever gonna get it to the fullest.
Well, there's some guys that just pick up football in the middle of fucking higw school and become really good.
Yeah, but they're anomalies.
Few and far between. Yeah.
But baseball is different, though. I mean, you look at great athletes and you hitting the balls.
Because that's hand-eye coordination, timing. Fucking baseball is a lot. Is football is very, very difficult, but baseball is more intricate details as far as like.
Well, funny story with that. But I used to be afraid to swing the bat, so I would purposely lean into the pitch and get hit so I could go to the base. And there was one time when I did it, and the ump was like, "Nah, bro."
He called you for. He was like, "You purposely."
He called me out, so I'm like, "Fuck." So I'll never forget it. My dad looked at me, was like, "Swing the fucking bat."
And
the first time I swung the bat, I hit it right to the fence.
Really?
Yeah. And ever since then, I would just hit bombs and bombs and bombs.
So like, you know what I was never good at? What I never understood. When everybody like would hit a ball and they're like, all right, I'm going to pull it to left field. I'm like, how do you fucking pull? I swing the fuck, like, how the fuck are you going to swing a bat with a 90, 80, whatever, 80, 90 mile fastball and do something with the bat and tell me the direction where the ball, I'm like, I just
No, you can. It's
I know.
It just, you got to know when to swing.
Yeah, if you want to catch it late, early, but it just, that was always something that was like shocking to me that people could do because I'm like, I would just swing and just be like, just hit it.
Yeah, I never worried about that. I was just like, boom. I would just rock it. I didn't care.
In fact, you taking a piss?
No, I'm the
Oh.
dog's outside. The dog's outside.
Oh.
I'm leaning, right?
You can do it on here. We've done way fucking
No,
worse.
no, dog's
Oh,
outside.
I've done that shit.
Nick, I won't show the audience, but I got some spicy pictures from you over the weekend.
Yeah, what do you think, guy? What do you think of that spiciness?
I'm not gonna show them. I'm just gonna look.
Okay.
I'm gonna look again. Just wanna go.
Come on,
Remind
guys.
you, I'm 298 pounds.
Jesus, that's how much you weigh right now?
Mm-hmm. I think for Pittsburgh, I'll probably be around 270s.
Wow. What was your highest weight on stage so far?
257.
I mean, in fact, and he's big, and like even at what are you? 298.
298, yeah.
Like when in the beginning of prep, like everybody has that like fat stripe at the under their stuff under their glutes. Like he has none of that. He has striations in his chest and the side chest already, and his fullness is back at 290 fucking 8. That's just ridiculous.
It's nasty.
What's you biggest? You said you were 270?
No. I think I'll be 270 at Pittsburgh. I said my heaviest though was at New York. I was 257, 258.
How tall are you, Nick?
Now,
5'7.5".
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
Now, Nick, are you at all? I'm gonna ask questions that I know people are gonna, because if it pops in my head, I assume it pops in other people's head. So we have the New York Pro. Now, let me ask before I ask that. Fact, were you there for New York Pro when Nick won and Martin took second?
Yeah, matter of fact.
Hold on. Because there was a lot of people thought.
Oh shit, you were there, Fact?
You remember you came out of the back room and somebody said some shit to you and I went up to you and I hugged you. I'm like, yo, don't listen to nobody.
Oh, that was you. Fuck. Yeah, I remember now.
So what I want to know what you, because I was front row. I was right there. So what did you think about, because that was a New York Pro that everybody was like, oh, it could have went either way, or so what being there, what did you think?
I mean, Martin is developing to be a good bodybuilder, but you got Nick who's already established. You know what I'm saying? I mean, was it close? The judges thought it was close, or the audience, but the people that knew, Nick was the clear winner to me. Everybody knows I don't bullshit. It's not because he's in the podcast right now, but yeah, I know Nick, man. I know the way he thinks, man. I know this shit is gonna be fucking dangerous as hell.
So, Nick, because you were 258 260 at New York, and they said you were too quote unquote full, blown out, whatever the fucking adjective they felt like
my stomach, yeah.
Saying you're going to be 270, people are automatically going to go, oh, he's going to be off. He's not going to be in shape. 270, he's going to be blown out again. Too big. Where does the number 270 come from? Is it because of where you look now in your conditioning and where you foresee yourself? Or you just think that like after the 2 years off of being at the Olympia, that just gave you time to like make sure that you matured and really held that muscle?
I mean, it's both. When I look at, the pictures I sent you, I already see where my conditioning is, where obviously I still need to lose a bunch of fat, and being 298, in my prediction, I feel like you're always lighter than what you predict anyway. But
yeah, of course.
I do feel I'll be in the low 270s for sure, upper 260s. And I think obviously I can't even say I haven't competed in 2 years, because I competed at New York. So when people are like, you haven't competed for 2 years, I'm like, nah, I competed at New York.
Yeah.
But I felt like, after all the bullshit that happened at this past Olympia, it was like a reset, kind of, I had to start over, but it was a good thing. And I think it just relaxed me a little bit and allowed me to put my head down and train the way I want to train the way I know how to train, and just get back to the nitty gritty. And I think obviously, as you saw, I put my size on and then some relatively quick. So
Back, you should take a trip and train with Nick one day and put him through a fucking fact special on leg day like you used to do with us.
I'd be down.
With the drop sets on leg press and all that fun. And
Oh, fuck yeah,
motherfucker,
yeah.
no, motherfucker, you used to fucking superset fact fucking leg press with hack squats, you son of a bitch. That's what you used to do too.
And death squats. Death squats. Nick,
Yeah.
where are you?
That's my favorite superset.
Nick, you're in Florida?
Right now, yeah.
What part?
Port St. Lucie.
Oh, you're about an hour and a half from me. I'm in Kissimmee.
Oh, you're in Florida?
I'm in Kissimmee. I moved to Florida in June of last year, June of 2024.
Fact, fuck
What the fuck, bro? We're not that far.
About an hour and a half from you.
We're not that far, bro.
Ooh, man, we got to hook up and train, man. Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
down.
I'll be down.
Fact, you being a coach, if you were in a position like Nick was, and Justin and Brett and all these guys when their coach retired, Derek too. Being you a coach from the outside looking in, who are some coaches that you still think are like the guys that you would go to if you were a competitor right now? And I know you're a coach and you're an awesome coach, and I'm going to get to that after this. But you being a bodybuilder at heart, if you were going to compete, who would you go to as a coach?
Who did I tell you to go to?
You told me to go to Cito.
If I was a bodybuilder right now, I would. If me, Fakhri Mubarak, if I wanted to come back right now and I wanted a coach, it would still be a Cito for me.
And give me your top 3 coaches right now.
Top 3 right now.
You can't include yourself.
I'm never going to include myself.
Well, I think you're. I mean, you've been around for fucking 20
Then
years.
I'll never include myself.
Yeah, no, I mean, I
you're one of the most winningest coaches out there. You have a great
like,
track record.
To me, like I'm like the last face of the Mount Rushmore. So if you put like 5, 6 coaches, I'm on there just because I came after those guys, right?
Nah, you bro. You solidified yourself. Nick,
I'd say so.
Nick, move your water bottle.
Humble.
No, I'm kidding.
That's a tough question, man.
Come on. So why he's thinking? I'm gonna tell a story. I'm gonna let you think. I think we've already had this conversation, but
let me go to the bathroom quick.
Yeah. Well, can you hear it or no?
He can hear.
Well, the story's about you. Okay. So you could have taken it with you. We wouldn't have asked to fucking see it. So
we do that shit, bro.
2011, Fac was my coach. I took second in Jacksonville. I took first in Dallas Europa. And then Fac will tell, I peaked. There was a long story in 2011, my first Olympia. I ended up, it was my fault because I don't know if Fac remembers this, but I was timing shit and it was Fac added insulin in. And I don't know, Fac, if you remember this. Remember when I was in your hotel room and I started to fucking crash and I had to I left and ran from the fucking Orleans back across the street into my room and I ate my fucking meal. And then I was still going and you're like, eat some apple pie filling. And I sat on the couch and I fucking fell asleep. Oh yeah. But problem is I fucking peaked that night because I had to add all this extra food in because I was starting to fucking feel like I was going to pass out.
Yeah.
And that night I went to go watch my wife at the time at the show, who I ended up missing her routine because I was fucking sleeping because I fucking went into almost like a slight diabetic, whatever. And I went to the bathroom in the Orleans and I lifted up my shirt in front of Chris and Chris goes, holy fucking shit. And I was like, what? He goes, dude, you look wild right now. I was like, I know. I go, but I think I'm peaking. Oh, I said, I don't think I'm going to hold this. And that's what ended up happening. But my point is that I ended up leaving Fac because me and Fac in 2013 did 5 shows, Nick. And bro, we could not fucking, it was 3rd place, 4th. And I was flat, couldn't figure out what the fucking problem was. And I'm like, dude, Fac, we tried everything. I fucking, I don't know what to do. And he's like, well, I think you should go with the Cito. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, I go with the Cedo, and first thing I do is get my blood work done. And nothing changed with what I was doing with Fak. I just switched coaches and he wanted blood work. But I had been feeling like dog shit.
Oh, is this when you had a fake test?
Nick, I was taking, Fak had me on like 750, 1,000 mgs of sus, like fuck, whatever, normal
Yeah.
shit. I got my test level done. My test level was 330.
No way.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever told you that. So I left Fak thinking
No.
it was a coach, you know, like he couldn't figure out my body.
Ah, dog, that was you.
My test level, in fact, I don't know if I ever told you this, was
Oh.
330. So I had fake tests, okay? Not only that, I stayed off because Chris, you know, Clomid HCG, and then I got retested before I went back on. I could call Chris right now. He remembers the number because I got checked and I was like, they gave me the fucking results and I'm like, oh my God. I called Chris immediately. I got in my car and I'm like, hey, bro, I said, you want to take a fucking gander of what my fucking test level is? He goes, what is it, a 9? Dude, it was a fucking 9. I had a 9 test level, Nick. A 9. Chris goes, your wife has more tests than you right now. You know that, right? That's what he said to me on the phone. So, yeah. So my point is that I got rid of a coach or switched coaches because I thought that it was a coach that couldn't figure out my body because everything wasn't working. Come to find out that no matter what coach I was with at 300 test score or test level, I wouldn't have been able to peak or be full with anything. So my point is that when you guys go looking for coaches and switching coaches, you might want to take a step back and look at all the variables that are happening at once because I was looking at it like I can't be taking fake fucking gear. Factors is can't figure out my body. You know, I turned, you know, I won a show the year prior and then the next year we just couldn't get it together. And it turns out that it was my fault.
Yeah, you know, I also think that me and you had a really close relationship. And
Yeah.
we were not just training together, but we developed a really strong friendship. And at that time, you had literally like all the old goats of the 202, 212 competing at the same time. Flex, David,
Jason
Jose,
Orange, David, Jose.
everybody. Yeah, everybody. So every show you did where you were placing third, fourth, fifth, and then come the Olympia, all these guys were placing ahead of you. It was hurting me emotionally to see it. You know, I knew you were doing your best, and you knew I was doing my best because you know how I work. I'm fucking OCD as a motherfucker to this day, you know. And I that pain that I felt because you weren't at your best was the reason why we had that discussion that day in the office.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? And
you were the only coach to ever tell me or recommend another coach.
Yeah, we cried. I remember we cried in the office. You were like, really? I'm like, that's the best thing for us to do, man. You know, and until this
I think
day,
we did I think it was 2012. Yeah, we did like 5 or 6 shows back to back to back to back to back, and I was like, and it was like I was like, I in my head, right? I was like, I'm gonna try every single fucking variable until I don't think there's any variables left. And I was like, okay, like we can't figure this out. Come to find out, it was fucking gear, you know? And that's the crazy part. And, you know, with everybody switching coaches recently, you know, I have a lot of people that I know that complain about coaches. And a lot of times they're complaining, and I'm like there's a guy in my gym that works with a Aceto, and he goes, "Well, I haven't talked to Chris since my show. His show was in fucking I don't know, August," and I'm like, "So you were just going to reach out to him for?" He was like, "Yeah, well, once I started, you know, getting ready for a show, I was going to reach out," and I'm like, "I don't." In fact, maybe I'm wrong. How is it that people think it is beneficial or advantageous to not be in contact at all with the fucking coach in the off season, and then just call them up 16 weeks out and say, I get ready for a show because this is how I feel in regards to that whole topic when you're talking about coach client. How many people do we know that will hire a coach, get ready for a show? Nick, you as well, okay? All of a sudden, they're getting ready for a show. They call the coach. I want to hire you for my coach, pre-con. Okay, they do a show. Then it's like, okay, well, it's off season. I'm going to do my own thing. And then prep comes back. They want to do another show the following year. Then they go and they get ready for a show again. Then they don't do well, or they don't like how they look. I have seen so many people that will post that their coach did X or their coach did Y as to why they didn't look a certain way. But what a lot of people don't realize is, number one, you can't be a cheap son of a bitch and not fucking want to pay a coach in an off season because you don't want to fucking spend the money because you think you can do it better. Because if you don't look good after working with a coach after your first year, right? If you do a show with the coach and then an off season and then pre-contest and you follow it through and through, you can hang your hat on the coach. If you do pre-contest with a coach, no off season, do your own thing, and then pre-contest again, and then you don't look a certain way, in my eyes, and I'm an athlete and a coach, I think that that's the fucking athlete's problem. The athlete has to have some sort of accountability in the off season to be able to do certain things and allow the coach to have the knowledge of what is working, foods, subs, training, to see their body change or regress either way, to then be able to utilize that information for pre-contest. But in fact, how many people have you known that just fuck off in the off season and think, well, oh, it's just about gaining muscle and putting on weight. I don't need a coach to do that.
Over 90%.
Yeah.
But why? But why is that? Why are most people not like Nick? That's the question, because there's more people that will slack off. And now listen, I'm not saying I wasn't as OCD as Nick in the off season. Like, I always had food with me. I always traveled. But if I was married and there was a day when you go out, like, randomly, wasn't planned, I would do it. I didn't get crazy like that. I mean, there were times, in fact, you were making me eat motherfucking like 2-3 pierogies a meal just to get calories in. Remember the pierogi kick?
Yeah.
So like,
Pierogies are good as fuck.
Actually, now that I said it, I'm like, I wonder if Wegmans is going to be pierogi.
And like a little pierogi, baby.
Not like a little pierogi in the air fryer. But like, most bodybuilders are not like Nick. They are more of the 80-20 than the 100. And why do you think that is?
It shows.
But why?
Because
why do you think that is?
Well, it goes back to what we said earlier. The love of training is not there. It's cool to do competitions, right? It's cool. Hey, look, I'm gonna do a competition and I'm gonna post it on Instagram and stuff like that. But the love of training is not there, bro. Like, my day revolves around work and training. I have to work and have to train no matter what until this age. The love is not there. People don't love training, bro. And the honest truth is, we just talked about Nick being 298 pounds. The off season is the most important part of bodybuilding there is.
I agree.
Now, this is a I don't know what answer I'm going to get from either one of you, because I can agree or disagree either way. When I was getting ready for a show, I didn't give a fuck where I was going, who was cooking, who I could trust. You couldn't get me to eat my mother's grilled chicken because I just didn't believe
nobody fucks with my food.
It was the way it was going to be. So I'm asking, like, I know guys, I have seen it myself. Like Jose will tell you, I would not go to an Outback and get a steak and a potato. I wouldn't go order fish at a restaurant. Like, if I had a cheat meal, I'd go eat whatever the fuck I wanted to. But I never trusted anybody to make or prepare my food in the off season. And it didn't matter if I sometimes went to restaurants, they wouldn't allow me to eat the food in the restaurant. I'd go sit in my car, eat my meal, and walk back in, because there was no chance I was going to allow somebody, possibly one time, to put something on my food that wasn't supposed to be there. Because if I found out I ate something that I should have and I didn't place well at a show, I would hang it all on that one meal, that one day, that one time, that 1 minute where I ate something I wasn't supposed to. So I always err on the side of, I ain't ever fucking doing that. But
Facts.
I know bodybuilders that will literally, I know bodybuilders that will go to the fucking Olympia or the Arnold or a show and pack no food and get it all and literally get there and go get white rice at a Chinese food store. And they'll go pick up, steamed chicken and broccoli. And they'll go, dude, they'll go like get the minute jasmine rice that has oil in it that nobody ever looks at. Like,
oh, that's fucking gross.
It's crazy to me what they'll do. Would you ever eat out at a place during pre-contest and trust somebody else cooking your stuff?
No.
Because there's so many guys that even now currently that compete that I know will still do that with no questions asked.
No.
And that's the most mind-boggling thing to me, because I don't know how anybody a week of a show would allow, like, even if I use Fuel Chef Frank, or I used, I had the different prep companies back then, 2 weeks out, I didn't care where the food was. If it didn't come from my fucking fridge, my grill, I didn't eat it. 2 weeks out, it was only my food.
If I was 2 weeks out, my only option was to eat at a restaurant. I wouldn't eat.
Wow.
And I was like that. See, I think that's a good thing.
I would just convince myself if I miss this meal, I'll just get leaner.
But see, what you just said, that's where also I failed, because I would do that in the off season.
I didn't do that in the off season.
I could eat McDonald's or skip a meal. I was always so self-conscious with how I looked from being bullied so heavily growing up that I would skip eating a shit meal, because in my head, it was more beneficial to skip that than eat that bad food and then have one less meal that day than to eat that garbage and potentially just not like how I look. So I would always in the off season be the guy that would skip that. That was always the bad part, because I would rather skip a meal in the off season rather than eat. In fact, where do you lie on that? Like, let's say it's an off season. You don't expect everybody to be a Nick Walker. They're out somewhere. It's been 3 hours. It's now going on 3.5 hours. They have to eat. They're passing a fucking burger joint. Is it better to eat and have a healthy option even at a McDonald's or a Burger King? Or is it better to just skip that and just eat whenever you can?
It depends on the habit. I'm sorry, Nick, go ahead.
I was going to say, I know honestly, it would probably be better to choose a healthier option than skip food.
I agree.
What about
metabolism and how they look and the current, No,
this is the off season. Doesn't matter. Just off season, whatever.
But it's still,
you don't want to be a fat fuck guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
But what happens if there's no healthy options? And it's like, we're at a place they only serve burgers and fries.
Get yourself a nice double quarter pounder with a large fry, and then go to your cart for the rest of the day. Chicken and veggies for the rest of the day.
But is for obviously catabolic talk and having nutrients, timing, and all that stuff. But is it, if somebody takes anything away from this podcast, that in the off season, it's always good to eat a meal rather than skip? Because that's where I failed there.
I would say, yeah, of course.
But the thing is, when you allow not even allow, when most people don't have the discipline. That's just a fact. Right? If people might get upset at this or not, but some people just don't have discipline. Once you open up that window to say, you know what, I just had McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, or whatever I had, that usually gives them a green light to have that again the week after, the week after, and the week after. So some people have to, refine themselves to like really understanding of what the off season is and to try to have a perfect off season. Now with my clients, like depending on how you look, I'll let you have 1 or 2 cheat meals per week, but cheat meals, not fried or not sugary, something healthy, like a healthy outside option.
Now, what's a healthy outside option? Like burger, fries, sushi, not like pizza or calzones or fucking.
So nothing fried and nothing sugary. And the only reason I tell people that is, again, it goes back to the discipline of today's generation. Back then, it was different for us. Like, again, Nick is a throwback. Back then, it was different for us. We didn't have to cheat. The only cheat I ever had in any of my pre-contests was a barbecue my mother threw for me for my birthday. a barbecue. That's the only one cheat meal I ever had in all my
Really?
yeah. So I was disciplined, but it goes back to discipline. Most people are not disciplined nowadays.
What do you think discipline is the most important key factor to being successful in bodybuilding?
In anything in life.
Discipline and consistency.
100% consistency. Yep.
Yeah. Well, you have to be disciplined to have consistency, right?
Well,
So,
yeah.
and then you have to be consistent to have discipline. So they kind of both go hand in hand.
Nothing happens overnight, man. This is a long process. Bodybuilding is a long process.
Very long.
If you don't have any injuries and I know you're in your 50s, but why was there never a comeback with you if there was never injuries or any real big setbacks where you couldn't do it? Because I know there was a couple times years ago where I thought you were gonna maybe throw your hat back in the ring. Why did you never put your hat back in that ring? Back. Did you hear me?
Yeah, he's thinking.
I just didn't want to. I didn't know if he could hear what I said. I thought I muted.
It's an emotional topic.
Yeah.
I figured.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer it.
I never thought I was gonna get old. I'm at peak, and I just let things happen in life with businesses and trying to take care of family and friends, and just never did it. Sorry.
No, you're good, bro.
Good, bro.
What about it upsets you? Just because you do feel like you never had your full potential in bodybuilding?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Your body isn't beat up, I don't think, according to what you said. I mean, they have the Masters Olympia, and I know that, see, this is where things that I've said I would retract, because in a position like you, where I would say, yeah, I could have done some things differently and maybe made some adjustments and been better in certain ways, but like I made peace with the career that I had. If you didn't, and you still have some fucking demons in the basement and you still have it in you, why not throw your hat in the fucking ring and do the Masters Olympia?
I can never be my best.
So you can never be your best of what you were.
Yeah.
But you can say that every day you wake up. You're like, when I wake up tomorrow, I'll never be as good as I was today. So there's a way of looking at that too. Every day you wake up, you're not going to be as better as you were the day before.
But I wasn't until 44.
Yeah. 44 was yeah. When did you say I'm done?
44.
Because of business, busy?
No. I was living in Florida 2016, 2017.
I remember.
Moved to Florida. Yeah. Remember when I first moved? Well,
Yeah.
that was it's like third time. This is the fourth time I lived in Florida. And I left a few businesses in New York, quite a few. Not just in
yeah, you had Factrition, you had your supplement shops. I remember all that.
I had a restaurant, I had a gas station, I had a McDonald's. And I had to come back because it was the people who I had in charge weren't working. So I had to come back to take care of that. But I came back with the intentions of doing the New York Pro in 2018. I came back weighing 287 pounds in good shape with abs. So I knew that I was going to be on stage around like 240.
287, you're what, 5'5"?
5'5", yeah. I was in good shape too. Then I went to get blood work I had blood work done. The day the Yankees got Giancarlo Stanton, the doctor called me right when the ESPN thing came on. And I'm screaming because he was also a Yankee fan. Hey, Doc, what's up? What's up? He was like, we need to talk. And I was like, what happened? So he starts talking. He starts telling me about my numbers and blah, blah, blah. So my GFR had dropped 17 points from 2016 to 2018.
Why?
And my creatine, I just kept running, and I would always get blood work every 3 to 4 months. And then between 2016 and into 2017, late 2017, I was just going through a lot of shit in Florida because I knew everything was happening in New York. I wanted to be in Florida, and I started Factrition, and I wanted to be in Florida. It was time for me to enjoy my life, but I had to come back and all that stress. So basically, I was walking around with my blood pressure 220 over 140, 210 over 110. The whole entire.
Were you taking any meds at that point or not?
That's a stupid thing too, because we take all the stuff that we take as bodybuilders, but I didn't take that one fucking white caps, that one pill.
Blood pressure will fucking kill you.
That's it. And that's what happened to me. So the blood pressure went through the roof, and then I had to stop. So my GFR was dropping. You have stage 5, which is perfect, stage 4, and then stage 3. I went from stage 5, which was 100. My GFR was 102 at 42 years old. So super high. I was gonna live forever.
That's
crazy. And then it dropped down to into the mid 60s in 2000 when I got my blood work. But since then, I've been perfectly healthy. I could come back and do a 212, but I'll never be who I was. And
for people that don't know, your GFR has to do with your kidneys, correct? And how they're filtering and filtering everything. So now, kidneys, once those numbers are corrected, can those numbers be corrected and stay corrected? They're not. What are they? Or once they're damaged, they stay damaged.
No. So your GFR is your GFR. It might go down 5, 6, 7 points in between blood work, depending on hydration, a bunch of stuff. If you get it fasted or not, blood work. But once your GFR gets too low, that's the danger that people have. And you know what? I want to talk about something else too. So you see a lot of guys nowadays, you hear many people nowadays talking about using 1,000 milligrams of Primo, 2,000 milligrams of Primo, 1,000 milligrams of Masteron, 2,000 milligrams of Masteron, because they're safer drugs. What people don't understand is that those drugs synthesize protein and increase the mTOR production of protein synthesis, right? So those are safe drugs at very low dosages. What these guys are recommending now, these high amounts of what's considered a safe drug, the filtration of your kidneys are filtrating at a higher rate because they're synthesizing protein at a higher rate. So that 2,000, 1,000, 2,000 milligrams of Primo Masteron is worse than 1,000, 2,000 milligrams of test, because when you have high test, it's you're synthesizing protein, but you can control the test because the test increases your blood pressure. So with blood pressure medication, you can control that. But what people are doing nowadays, thinking they're doing a safer cycle, you guys are putting yourself more fucking risk of kidney failure, and it's gonna happen. And it's funny because I wanted to make a post about this yesterday. Tomorrow, I was thinking about it yesterday, and I'm glad that we're on the podcast now because it's an insane amount of what people consider.
I had a guy that was on 1,400 mgs of Masteron and 1,400 mgs of Tren at the same fucking time.
I saw that.
Crazy.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. And it's not even the amount of drugs, because we've always everybody's taken a shitload of drugs. Even when we were, doing stuff, we weren't. You know what I took, and I know what you took. And we were good bodybuilders. But the filtration system of the kidney has to do with the amount of synthesizing of protein, mTOR intake, and everything else, man. So you guys got to be really fucking careful with who you listen to and what you do.
Thankfully, Nick is one of the smarter ones, but you would think with the internet and all the technology out there and all the people that you could reach out to and ask questions, and health clinics like Merrick Health and all these places that do blood work, you think that this would be something we wouldn't have to discuss because of all the knowledge that's out there. But the problem is there's so much knowledge out there, and there's so much knowledge that is very helpful. And then there's a lot of knowledge that's just complete idiotic, and people don't sometimes know what to follow, and they listen to the latter of the two. And then you have shitty fucking knowledge, But I think that's very important because as we grow older and there's new developments, there's always going to be new drugs. Look at peptides becoming new all of a sudden, and BPC and TB. We didn't have that. Like Nick, I mean, when you first started bodybuilding, did you ever hear of TB 500 or TB? No, that was fucking nobody used that.
That shit was non-existent when I started.
And then even Increlux and IGF, that is that. All that stuff kind of was all different phases come about and fucking end up on the timeline of bodybuilding. But, you know, as the older we get, the newer things, drugs come out. And I think people kind of start testing these drugs at too dangerous of a rate to see what kind of results they can get. You know, and I had the guy taking 1,400 mgs a test, 1,400 mgs a Masteron, or 1,400 mgs a Trend, 1,400 mgs a Masteron, and his coach had him on like 600 mgs a test. He's like, yeah, but the test is low. And I'm like, do you not understand how ridiculous these numbers are?
Mhm.
And you would think it would be different from all the knowledge they have, but it's not. And that's the scary part, is that there's a lot of knowledgeable people out there and a lot of people that are knowledgeable in a very bad way because they do a lot of dumb shit.
Milligram per milligram, primobolan synthesizes protein at a higher rate than testosterone. So if you're taking 1,000 megs of primo or 1,000 megs of test, guess what you're safer with? 1,000 megs of test.
Crazy.
It's insane. It's insane. And then you combine Trend in there, and then it's insanity.
It's fair to say this. If you have to take any of those doses, I guarantee Nick doesn't take a quarter of that. So if you have to take that to look like a bodybuilder, you probably just should find something else to do because you're going to end up in a casket.
I personally am not a fan of primo, so.
You know, listen, people can look at us and laugh, and I'll close over this. In fact, we're definitely going to have you on again because we can keep going for hours. But I'm going to say this.
I appreciate it.
The only reason why I cut him short is because Nick's dieting, so I like to give him his mealtime. Where was I going with this? This is my fucking memory going. Nobody ever believes us, but I will be, and you guys are on here. We always talk about the doses that we take, and it's always the people that don't listen to it's. I want to make sure I word this right. It's how many times have you heard Nick or fact guys say, "Oh, so and so said he took that, but I know that's full of shit," or "I know he says he took this, but I know it's probably a little higher." The guys that don't want to put in the hard work, there will always be the people that say that the guys giving you the information about what dose of gear they take, the people that don't believe in putting in the hard work will always be the ones that say he's full of shit. How many people will point at Nick, point at you, Fact, point at me, point at this one and say, the cycles they talk about is bullshit. And they got to be taken more than that. They will listen to the Joe Schmo at the gym who tells them to take ungodly amounts of gear and then hang their hat on that's what the pros are doing card. And they will literally not listen to what the pro tells them directly because they think that the pro is not going to shoot them straight. Because for some reason, people think that pro bodybuilders will tell you how to eat. They'll tell you what protein, what supplements, what commodity stuff to take. They'll tell you what tan to use. They'll tell you what posing trunks to use. They'll fucking help you with, but they won't tell you the drugs to take to make you look that way. When unfortunately is drugs part of it, yes. But if you don't fucking train your balls off and you don't fucking eat meals like Nick Walker and you don't fucking do your cardio and you don't follow your blood work and you don't none of it fucking matters at the end of the day. So these people listen to the gym bros and don't want to listen to the pros because they think the pros are hiding this key to the mint that they don't want to tell you because they don't want you to. Maybe if Nick tells me exactly what he's taking, maybe he's not telling me because maybe if he does tell me, maybe I'm going to end up looking like Nick Walker. So maybe well, unfortunately, that's not how it fucking works. So get your head out of your ass.
Do anabolic steroids build muscle by themselves? No. Anabolic steroids do not build muscle by themselves. If you take anabolic steroids and you sit on the couch, you do not put on muscle.
In a simple word, Fact, steroids help you recover faster.
Yeah.
And the faster you recover, the more exactly, dude. That's what it is. So if anybody learned anything today on Mutant in the Mouth with my boy Fact, it is this. PEDs make you recover faster, which essentially makes you grow muscle faster at a faster rate. So in a simple, easy way to remember it, it's steroids help you recover better, faster, which is why if you look at the NFL and sports, why they take them, why? Because they recover faster. You recover faster, you build muscle at a more efficient rate. Like it's that easy, that simple. Not that simple, but it is when you explain it. Nick, real quick before we go, tell the fans how we're looking. Are we
Looking
getting
like a
nitty-gritty?
Pittsburgh champ.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking like.
Yeah, Nick. Are we turning the corner now to where like the prep's starting to like kick in and
Yeah, we're getting there. 12 weeks out this weekend, so yeah, we're getting there.
Does Kyle change any things up? I know he dropped food like the other week. You mentioned he's starting to pull the food down.
The highest I got was 307, and I was still relatively in good shape at that weight. So being 298, he didn't really change anything drastic this week because I'm now starting to drop. So my body's just starting to get into that groove now. And
how's he with cardio?
right now we do 6 days a week, 30 minutes.
That's not bad.
No,
I actually enjoy, honestly, man. I know it's hard to believe, but the older I got, like even towards the end of my career,
I like cardio.
Chris wouldn't have me do cardio. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna do 20 minutes just to do something because it's like I enjoy. It was part of my routine, and I felt good doing the cardio. And
I like to do cardio personally.
And I think a lot of people don't do cardio enough. I think it's very healthy and beneficial to do in the off season. Even if you're a hard gainer, I would still add some cardio in for heart health, just period.
As long as you're just moving, right? Not going like crazy hard intense. It's not like you're gonna lose a shit ton of weight,
Who's that?
Hey,
that's King.
So I love it, dude. I gotta the next time I come down to Florida, I gotta come visit and see them.
Yeah, man, for sure, man. Just meet up and train, all of us.
Oh, well, that's what we should do.
Well, you know what's funny is me and Guy have never trained together.
No way.
No. We've been at the gym. We've been at the gym. Like we did an event once where he trained with a bunch of people. I trained with a bunch of people. Then we were at the gym once, but we all trained. Like, did you train that day at Gold when we did arms before the?
Oh
but
my
that was
God, dude, that was the most shittiest workout.
That's what I'm saying. That was we trained together, but we were just
we
were in each other's company. Yeah, so we got to get a session in all three of us. I think have Fak put us through one of his old school workouts. That would be fucking hilarious.
I'm fucking down, bro.
We'll be puking rally.
Let's fucking do it.
I do it back 2 weeks ago, man. I came off the bento rows. I did a certain amount of weight, and I got up. I took 2 steps, and I swear to God, like the next thing I remember, I blacked out. Next thing I remember, I was on my knee holding on to the rack. So, and I'm looking around, but the gym was empty because there's not too many people that train at Kissimmee Gym at nighttime. And I'm like, holy shit, I fucking fainted, man. But that's how hard. Yeah, that's how hard. So I know I blacked out because I don't remember hitting the floor of my knees. So there was some blackout somewhere.
Bro, once you have it, you never get rid of it. That fucking flipping the switch shit when you walk into the gym.
Every workout, man. Every workout.
The hardest thing for me now, being retired, is going to the gym and telling myself, take it easy.
I still can't.
I have to, or I'll play dude. I've torn my quad 3 times. I have to tell myself, like once I start putting on weight, I'll get to a point like, all right, you don't need to put on enough. Like, you're good here. Stay there. Because
How much you weigh now?
Fucking ripping 180.
180,
yeah.
Dude, that's so fucking small, bro. 180?
That's fucked up.
I graduated high school at 230, bro.
Bro, I was at 230 at like the height of my career, so I don't know what to fucking tell you. Like the height of my career, I was 230.
I'm on 230. I stand on stage at higher than that, bro.
You know what it is, bro? Fact, like I don't know if it's like a metabolism thing. I can eat so much shit now.
Yeah, you're lucky in that aspect.
I try to like hold my weight. Like yesterday, I ate from like fucking 5 o'clock on. I ate just cookies and fucking chicken cutlets and pasta and dude, I woke up this morning. Yesterday I was 181 when I woke up. I woke up this morning 179.
Bro, what was that drug we used to use for appetite?
Adipex.
No, the white liquid. It was a white liquid jar you didn't like. Remember? It was a RX drug. Damn, I forgot the name of it. So anyway, I gotta remember the name.
Well, Fact tried everything to get me
Yeah.
fucking my appetite. My appetite was so bad, Nick, in the off season.
I bet.
I'm trying to think now.
Nick, that drug would make me eat a full meal like every 30, 45 minutes. It's a drug they give to cancer, people that are dying of cancer, AIDS, burn victims.
You gotta remember what it is in Texas. So I can't.
And I would not fucking eat on that shit, and everybody would eat like literally 7, 8 meals on that, and guys still wouldn't eat, man.
Bro, he was having to eat fucking pierogies and like adding shit and I'm like,
you gotta eat. You eat to grow, bro.
I know, dude. Bro, there were times.
Speaking of food, hold on, Fact. I see you used to post a lot. Are you still a big fan of the Cheesecake Factory?
I used to live right across the street, man. That's why I was such a fan.
Cheesecake Factory is my favorite, bro.
Oh my god! So when we train, we go right after we train.
Go to the Cheesecake Factory.
We'll train and cheesecake. That's what you should, Nick. That's what your shirt should say.
Train and cheesecake.
You make a train and cheesecake fucking t-shirt. That'll fucking sell like hotcakes.
That'll be his next endorsement, the Cheesecake Factory.
That'd be the best sponsor ever. Imagine, didn't Ronnie have that at the Black Eyed Pea in Texas? Didn't he get like free food?
Oh, I don't know, probably.
The place he used to eat at and all those videos.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah, he was the fucking man. All right, listen, no yawning on this podcast. All right, Fact, thanks for having us on. I'm going to let Ben go eat. We're going to have you on again because we have a lot to still cover. Yeah, and, let us, I want a question for the fans out there. There are podcasts like the one we had today where I really didn't pull up, the internet. We didn't really show any visual stuff. So I wanted you guys to know, do you guys like when we visualize a lot of stuff and show things and pull up things on the internet, or do you guys enjoy? Because I like this where we can just have a conversation like it's a phone call and you guys just get to hear kind of how we shoot the shit, because that's kind of what it is. Just fucking dudes talking about fucking dude shit. So let us know the dude shit. Dudes talking about dude shit. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like we'll call it the phone call style, or do you guys like more of the visual stuff where we're pulling up Q&As and we're looking at pictures and posing routines, or just in the now stuff? So let us know. And the man, the myth, the legend himself, Fakhri Mubarak, one of the most winningest coaches in the IFBB. One of the best guys that I know in the industry, longtime friend for over 15 years. If you guys don't have a coach and you don't know who to use, I can tell you that one of the best guys out there is the gentleman on this podcast, Fakhri Mubarak, IFBB Pro, and still coaching and killing it in the industry. So hit up my boy Fak, and we will be on here next week again with another episode. And who knows, maybe I will bring the man himself, Fak, back for round 2 of Mutant in the Mouth. Until next time, guys, enjoy it. Super Bowl just got over, and Philly just put an ass whooping on the Kansas City, and made everybody happy besides Taylor Swift. So until next time, Mutant in the Mouth, Fakhri Mubarak. Check him out. We're out of here, guys. Be good. God bless.